Welcome students. Hope you all have completed the programming assignment that were there in your 11th syllabus. Now in this video I will cover functions. Why do we need functions and what are functions? Suppose we are writing a program for school management system and we are encountering an operation frequently, namely average. After writing the code for average after writing the code for the average in the first time, when we encounter average second time, what would we do? We tend to copy that code and make changes in that code to get our job done. This is the basic approach. Nobody likes to code again and again the same operation. With the values change, Python functions automate this process for us. What would we do? We encode the operation code and place that code in the library, and when we need that operation in the future, we call that operation by the name and give that operation values, and we get the results without copy pasting manually. I hope you got the point. If not, no worry at this stage. Suppose what type of statements, control statements we have studied till now. We have covered if, elif, else statements. In addition to these, we also cover while, for statements, etc. These are the conditional statements. These are iterative statements or looping statements. Suppose our program contains statements. How does our control flows? How does execution occur for these statements? Firstly, first line will execute, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth, then sixth. I means to say execution moves from top to bottom. This is the first statement of our program or module. There is a certain difference between program and module. I will cover later in this series. Then if we have functions in our program or modules, how does the execution flows? We will cover this concept in this video. Now moving on, I will cover functions and their scopes. Scopes can also be called lifetime, visibility, namespace, etc. Then came parameter passing. What are parameter passing? Mutable, immutable properties of data object. We know which data objects are mutable and immutable. List and dictionary are mutable, rest all are immutable. Passing strings, how to pass a list, tuple, dictionary, functions, strings, etc. To a function. Default parameters, what are default parameters, what are positional parameters. Then return values, then function using libraries, mathematical and string functions. A function is a group of statements that execute upon request. A request to execute a function is known as function call. When you call a function, you pass arguments that specify data upon which the function performs its computation. In Python, a function always returns a result value. This is important. Function always returns a result value, either none or a value that represents result of the computation. क्या करेगा फंक्शन या तो नन वैल्यू रिटर्न करेगा या तो कंप्यूट करने के बाद में जो उसने वैल्यू कंप्यूट की होगी वो रिटर्न करेगा. सही है. Functions defined within class statements are also known as methods. Functions which are defined within the class are known as methods. Function advantages of functions are clarity, readability, and reusability. Then how to define functions? How to define functions? Function is defined using the def keyword. This is the keyword, and here we provide identifier, which is function name. Function name, it is user defined. This is identifier, and here we supply two parentheses. In parentheses we provide optional arguments separated by commas. Then there are two there is a colon. Then first line consists of optional docstring. What does docstring means? It represents information. It contains information about the function. What is function about? You can also make docstring containing more lines than a single line. This is optional. Then here comes the function body. It can be n number of lines or a single line. This is the definition of the function. Suppose we want to write a function fn1. This is identifier, and here we are not supplying any argument. Here we are not supplying any docstring. Print hello world. This is the function. This is a simple function. Our body can also contain more than one lines. This is the function body. This is the example of function. This is the syntax of defining functions. Moving on. Suppose we write two functions and then call them. Suppose we write function fn1 which take two arguments. Suppose a comma b, right? Then suppose we return a plus b, comma a minus b, comma a into b, comma a divided by b, right? Def fn2 name print then we write then we call then we take two values 3, 4. Then we initialize a variable with fn1, then printing t simply. Suppose this is the line number 1, line number 2, line number sorry, this is not the line number 2. My my numbering represent the execution flow of execution. Firstly, our control flows however execution moves. Firstly, first line will be executed. After seeing the first line, our interpreter finds this is a function definition. It creates a function object in the memory with this function signature, and it will not go on executing the body of the function. Remember, function does not execute by itself. Function execute only when there is a call to the function, right? Firstly, first line will get executed, then second function will get executed, body of the second function will get executed, then this statement will get executed. This statement will get executed, then this statement will get executed. Here is the function call. Then control flows from here to here. What is there? Fn to n. Now name is the, suppose n represents Anuj. N represents Anuj string. N is referencing to the Anuj. Now here name is also referencing to Anuj. What would it print to our console? Hello Anuj. After the function finishes, whether there is return statement or return statement can't be there. Function return it control to the this is the Kali and this is the color. After returning control, after finishing the body, function return its control and value to the color. Call came from here, control will return to here, and it also, remember, it also return a value in addition to the control. This value is special value called null. If function explicitly does not return a value, it returns none. First line which we got is hello Anuj, then none, then 3 and 4. C is representing to 3 and D is representing to 4. Now A and B are also representing to 3 and 4. Remember, A and B are inside function. They are in the function's namespace, and this is the top level statements. Then return A plus B. Here control and values get returned to the function, to the function call statement. Values get returned here. Then t is the tuple variable, because these values are separated by commas. T will become tuple variable, which will contain A plus B, 3 plus 4 7, 3 minus 4 minus 1, 3 into 4 12, etc. 3 by 4, whatever there is, 0.75. Here t will get printed. Now how to call functions? To call functions, we have seen the definition of the function. Suppose we have defined our function area, length comma breadth, return L into B. How do we call our area function? To call our area function, we use the name of the function. This is the name of the function, and remember, it is an identifier. Rules of the identifier will apply here. You can't use a keyword or characters which are not there in the identifier. Then the parentheses, if there are some parameters, these are the parameters, the optional parameters and the values. If there are some parameters, we have to supply value for them. Suppose there is length and there is width, we have to supply value for them. If we does not suppose there are two functions, namely there are two functions, area, there can be two functions with the same name if they contain different parameters. This is the signature of the function. This is different function. Suppose this is signature 1, this is signature 2. Why? Because there are two parameters. This does not contain a parameter. These are two functions. Suppose there is again a third function which contain only one parameter. Suppose area of circle. This is the default area which we return 0 or anything, return 3.14 into pi r square r square. I hope you are understanding. To call first function, we use the name of the function and represent and pass two values to the function. Then to call second function, we use name of the function without any argument. Thirdly, we use the name of the function with a single argument, suppose 5. Right? Remember, this is the keyword, this is the identifier, these are the parentheses which are required, and here we can supply n number of optional arguments, optional parameters. The list here is called parameters or formal parameters. Here what we are supplying the values, these are called arguments to the function. These are the values. What does function return? Function returns control. Function returns value or values. Right? Function can return multiple values or a single value, and control. What we mean by the control? If we write a function here, then op1, op2, etc., and here is the body of the function. When we call function, suppose function, there is a variable fn3 and we are calling our function fn1 1, 2. This is the call statement and this is the definition of the function. What will happen here? This statement is calling this function. After finishing the body, whether there is return or it is devoid of return, it will transfer the control to this statement which has called. This is the caller, this is the callee. इसने बुलाया है, इसको बुलाया है. जब ये ख़त्म हो जाएगा तो वापस इसी के पास ही आएगा. Got the point? Next, suppose we are writing a function area again, area with, we can also use volume here because we have done area earlier, length, breadth, return L into B. Then again area, we can also use area here because we are writing with, and this signature is different. Why? Because there are different number of parameters. Return, this can be rectangle, this can be square, L square, this area can be this area can be for circle and square. We will get confused. We use CIR here, area CIR, and represent R here, and return R square. These are the definitions of the functions 1, 2 and 3. How to call rectangle area, how to call area to compute area of the rectangle. We use area and provide two arguments. If we are providing two arguments, it is obvious that we are calling to this function. If we are passing an argument 10, this can be this or this, but we have used different name for the functions. It is clear that we are calling for to compute the square area. Then if we are writing area circle 5, we will call this function. I hope this would be clear. Then here are some examples of passing string to the function. Now this is the program containing function. This how our program will get executed. Firstly, this line will get executed. Interpreter create an object by the name this, and this statement body will not executed by itself. It will execute only after the call. We get call to the function. This is the top level statement. This statement will be executed after first statement definition. Then here we find a call to the function example. We will transfer our control to this statement name. Now name is passed to, suppose name is here Anuj. Hello Anuj. We will get what we will printed on the screen, hello Anuj. Then we will also get a print what does this function return, because the function does not specify explicitly return statement here. It would return control as well as value, a special value which is none here. Then it will print NONE here. You can test your output here. What we have written, hello Anuj, none. Enter your name Janu, hello Janu, none. Right? Then what we are passing here, we are in this example we are passing a tuple. Firstly, this line will get executed. We will skip, the interpreter would skip the body of the function. Then it will come to this point. Then this point it will create a tuple. Tuple will represent T would reference a variable called tuple 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 is pointing to 1, 2, whatsoever. Third, this statement will get executed. Then fourth, this statement. We encounter a call statement. We transfer our control to this statement. Now T is passed to P. P would also reference to this tuple variable. Now sum. Remember, sum is inside. Sum and P are inside function whose name is ex1, and outside the sum here is top level or main program. What is inside the function, what are there in the function will get created inside the function and destroyed when the function returns. If we would try to find the value of sum here, we will get an exception, value error or whatsoever. we will why we are getting error here, because some scope is not in the main function. Some get created here and destroyed when the function return. P is pointing to tuple and some is referring to 0. For I in P, we are summing all the items of this tuple and then returning this sum variable. We are returning our control and sum will get assigned. Now s is here. S will refer to this return value, which is anything though. Then we will execute this statement. Then there is output passing list. This is the most important thing. As we know, list is a mutable data object. Mutable data object, what will happen here? Just have a look. Example is a function. What are the variables here? M, only M. And outside example we have variables, we will call it main function. What we have here? L variable, only L, right? What happen? Firstly, this statement will get executed. Interpreter make a function object by the name example M. Then this statement will get executed. List L will reference to a list object whose items are 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? 0 is pointing to 1, 1 is pointing to 2, 2 is pointing to 3, 3 is pointing to 4. Now what will happen? List before the call L. We will print the statement L, then third, then fourth. Fourth is the call statement. Control will move here. Now M. Now M is also pointing to L. M is also pointing to the same data object as L was pointing. Now M, the data item of M, third data item of M is equal to 40. Now the third data item which earlier contains 4, now contain 40. Then print M, then we will print M. M is 1, 2, 3 and 40. Then we will return, we are returning and list after function. Then M is destroyed. It's this variable will get destroyed, but this list will get affected. It was not the case with list, tuple or string, as these variables are immutable. You can test your output. List before the function call 1, 2, 3, 4. Within the function, this statement, print statement is within the function. After the function call, L, value of the L is got changed. Then what happened when we pass dictionary? Dictionary is also mutable. Here again we are having D. Only D is here in the example 1, and in the main what we are having only P variable. Now this statement will get executed again. This statement will get executed. D is pointing to an object, dictionary object, which contains A, B and C. A contains value 1, 2 and 3. Now this statement will be executed. This is the function call. Control will transfer to here. Now P is pointing, P is also pointing to the same dictionary object. Same dictionary object. Now PD. Now we will add a key, namely D, whose value is 4. After returning, we are returning a value which is none and control to this statement. Then this statement will get executed and our P reference will get deleted. Now what we will have only D, and the data which the D is referring has got changed. You can verify your output here. Before the function call, this was the output. After the function call, we got D. These are the default arguments. Look at this function definition. This is the function definition I have taken from the Python docs. This is the function definition. Def, this is the keyword, this is the function name, ask OK. This is the name of the parameter, first parameter, second parameter, third parameter. But here we see values at the time of definition, in the definition with the parameters. These are called default values. This is the body of the function. This will not get executed. These three are the call statements, function call statements. Now if we define our function like this, the parameters whose value is not supplied at the time of definition must need an argument, corresponding argument, when we call that function. Suppose we are calling this function ask OK, and we are not supplying the values for retries and reminder. Then our function will get values which are default, and we must have to supply the values for the parameter which are not default. Do you really want to quit? Prompt will get this string. Do you really want to quit? Suppose in the second call statements we are supplying two arguments here. First argument would get passed to the first parameter. First argument would get passed to the first parameter. Second argument would get passed to the second parameter, and third parameter takes its default value. In the third call statement, what would happen? First argument would get passed to the first, second would get passed to the second, and third would get passed to the third. You have noticed a thing that arguments are passing by position. First would get passed to the first, second would get passed to the second, and third would get passed to the third. Otherwise they would take their default values if present. If we have not supplied the default values here, but we call that function with a single argument, we would get errors, right? I think you have understood. Keyword arguments. Now this is most important concept: keyword arguments and positional arguments. Default arguments are default parameters have to do with the function definition. Now here keyword arguments have to do with the function call statements. Function calls. Look, this function is also taken from Python docs. This is the function definition which defines a function named parrot. Parameters are voltage, state, action, type. These are the default values, means these are default arguments. This is the code of the function, body of the function. Now call to the first call statement. These are the function calls. First call statement, these are the valid function calls, and these are invalid function calls. We will have a look why these are valid and why these are not valid. In the call statement we supplied parrot and 1000. 1000 will get supplied. This argument would get passed to the voltage because all other have their default values. This is valid, one positional argument. Then if we supply if at the time of call we supply name of the parameter with the value. This is called the keyword argument. We are supplying voltage, the value. This is same as this, but we are using keyword argument here. Then we are supplying two arguments which are voltage and action. Action default value would get changed to VOOM instead of VWM, and voltage as in the previous example, action and voltage we can also reverse their position, as these are the keywords. These get supplied, voltage gets supplied to these now does not depend on their position. Million, this is the position, as no name of the parameter is used. This is the positional argument, 3 positional argument, this is the positional argument, and this is the keyword argument, 1 position 1 keyword. These are not valid because while calling parrot we must need a single positional argument, at least a single argument which get passed to the voltage, but this is not supplied. This is wrong. Voltage 5.0 and that. What we are doing here, we are supplying keyword argument before positional argument. This is not permissible. We have to supply keyword argument only once positional argument have been supplied. Then we are passing the same parameter 2 times a argument. 110 by default would get passed to the voltage, and again we are rewriting this 110 to 220. This is also wrong. And this actor parameter is not here in the definition, and we are passing an argument whose name is actor. This is also wrong. Next, there is also a variation of the function definition here. After writing the default and non-default arguments, when in the definition you encounter star and argument and double star keyword argument, what does this mean? Arguments would contain tuple of positional arguments, and this would contain a dictionary of keyword arguments. This is the body of a statement. Suppose this would get executed, then in the function call statement this would get passed to the kind, and these two as these are the also positional, these would get passed to the arguments, and these 3 keyword arguments would get passed to the keyword dictionary. Now this statement get printed. This is the tuple. From the tuple we get values one by one. Here do you have Limburger? I am sorry, I am out of all Limburgers. What else? It's very runny, sir. It's really very runny, sir. Print 40 hyphen statements are here. Then in the keywords KW in keywords. KW is keys. What are the keys? Shopkeeper, client, and sketch. Using this dictionary, and we get the values from the keys: Michael Palin, John Cleese, and Python 3.8 and next version of the Python also support this definition. What does this mean? Before the forward slash all parameters would be positional, and between asterisk and forward slash all parameters would be positional or keyword. After the asterisk mark, all positional all arguments would be keyword only. Function scope rules. Now function scope rules. Suppose we have a function 1. Outside that function we have a function 2. Then here comes the main function on top level statement or module statement. This is main. Then came our built-in Python built-in. Suppose some variables are here. these scopes or lifetime or namespace would be limited to here only, but this function can use the variables that are defined here. This also can use defined here, but reverse is not true. Function 2 cannot use the variables that are there in function 1. This is not permissible, and so on. I hope you are understanding. If you are not understanding, I will give a example. Suppose we have a function fn1, and here we are writing then again we have a function 2, and again we are writing print a b equal to 3. Then we are calling function 1 function 1 and I would cover these scope variables in the next class, as it would be better to have the examples with me. Thank you. See you in the next. Whenever a variable is referenced in a Python program, scope rules govern with this rule: L, E, G and B. L is local, E is enclosing, G is global, and B is built-in. What does this mean? Local means local to the function. Suppose we have function 1. What are there in the function body? It is local to that function. Suppose a function is within another function. Suppose fn1 is inside fn2. Then suppose a variable, there are variable a, b, c here, and here are variable d, e and f. Suppose if we are referring d, e or f here, we first look for d inside this function. If we don't find d here, then we will go on searching d in this enclosing function. This is called enclosing. Then global is the first statement of our program, our top level statements. This is called global. And built-in are the Python library functions like length, type, etc. The length, type, these are the built-in functions. Built-in functions are attributes are searched last. I think this will be clear. If we if we are in this function and we want to use def from here. Suppose we are in this function and we want to use def from here. We have to specify global. This is also a statement, global. We will specify global before the variable name. It would mean variable which is there in our top level statements or main function. When we specify non-local means enclosing. If we specify non-local with this d, it would specify that d is in function enclosing this function. I think you understood the concept. If you have still any doubt, let me know. Then we are moving to to use function using libraries. What we will do, we firstly need to import that library. Suppose we are importing math, then to use the functions that are there in the math library, we have to qualify that functions with the math. This is the name of the library. Suppose we are using power, then we have to supply arguments to this function. Arguments are suppose 2, 5. It will give us whatever 32. There are other functions in the math library like square root, and then sine, then cosine, etc. Suppose we are importing the string library. String library by default is imported. If we want to use the string functions, what we have to do, firstly we have to create a string variable, then the string functions like these are the methods actually. String dot lower, string dot capitalize, etc. These are the functions. Firstly you have to import the library, then you can use any of the functions. Thank you.